Well, I want to welcome our audience. On our podcast, we have Karen in her studio, and we're from Overture Barrett, which is up near Academy Sports, Whole Foods, right behind QT and Popeyes. So in we have somebody that I'm really excited because digital marketing used to be the world I lived in. And so I'm always curious to talk to my fellow digital marketers. So, Karen, tell our viewers who you are, what you do, and who you serve.
Yeah, thank you, Pete, for having me on. I'm super excited to be here. I'm Karen Herrera. I am the co founder of Launch Growth Marketing. We are a full comprehensive digital marketing agency, service specifically home service contractors, so HVAC, roofers, plumbers. Those are our people.
Yes.
I wrote a book last year, so I guess I'm an author. You can find that on Amazon, boost your sales,
Mhm.
speaker, and just a mom.
That's it. And that last one is the most important.
Yes.
So, for our moms out there that have a career and they have responsibilities of young kids at home, how are you balancing those two roles for our viewers to kind of gain some insights?
Yeah, I'm a mom of four with a lot of different age differences. So, of course, when my bigger kids are home, they're really helpful. But my littlest is one, and then pre-K is four, and they're constantly talking and busy
Mhm.
bodies. Thankfully, my parents live nearby, so on certain days, my mom helps me with my baby. So that's really super helpful. Like just having a
Mhm.
support system and also knowing when to reach out because it is overwhelming at times. But yeah, probably just like as far as like meal planning and just scheduling out the day and just organizing myself better so I can better succeed.
Wow, no, I love that. What organizational tip would you give our viewers? Like if somebody's out there and they're balancing all this, what have you found to be helpful for yourself?
Yeah, I think I take the weekend to kind of recharge. So, like Sundays, if you can kind of meal plan your dinners or like crock pot recipes, things that I don't have a lot of time to be in the kitchen, but, I have four hungry kiddos that want to eat all the time. So,
Mhm.
I feel like when those things are better prepared, I can, go about my day. Where when things get crazy is because I haven't planned, but obviously a Google Calendar or my notes on my phone, wherever you like to, whatever software system you want to use to make. I'm a very like checklist kind of person, so if I have
Mhm.
things that I have to do, the three rocks for the day, and just
Mhm.
kind of get that done.
I love that word when you say the rocks of the day. So
Mm.
explain to our viewers that may not be familiar with that concept. What do you mean by the rocks?
Well, I'm still working on the book. It's from Traction, and it's just kind
Mhm.
of like you set your three priorities, your to dos, and then as you do them, just kind of cross them out. And if you're left with one rock, well, that just kind of will go into the next day. It's not like has to be super stressful if you don't get all three things. For me, three is a good number.
Mhm. Yeah, we've always, I totally agree with you on the three. We actually teach a workshop, the concept of three, because I'm a golfer and I'll
Okay.
be playing with a golfer and I'll say, well, hey, I'm just going to say, hey, Karen, what do you do? And then 10 minutes later, they're explaining, and I don't know what they do. It's kind of like, can I have it in a simple way for my brain to understand? And I think the brain works better in threes. It's
Yeah.
just amazing. We want to do 10 things, but let's just try to do three things.
Yes.
And if you focus on the three things, the old 80-20, you're going to get the results in the 20% that you're going to 80% of your results in the 20%. My sister's a nurse. I have nurses all throughout my family. I think of digital marketing as a career nurse because you can work 12 o'clock at night, you could work 6 o'clock in the morning. You just have to get your work done. How is that career? How did you get into digital marketing?
Yeah, that's a great question. It's mostly we're a really small boutique style agency, really like family owned. So my husband has his associates in graphic design and self-taught himself web, and I've learned things on my own. So I think it's really through my husband and meeting him. And even when we first were just dating, we worked on a newsletter after school together. I would do a lot of content writing and photography, and we would stay after school putting this newsletter together. So it's funny, from the beginning, we've always worked together. So he has his strengths and I have mine, and we worked really well together. And I think that's how it came about.
Yeah, I love the flexibility that you can have in the industry, because it's all results driven. And so they're not saying you got to be here at 3 o'clock. They're
Mhm.
saying, I need this project done. And then you're figuring out how it's going to get done based on all the different variables that go into a family, busy, 4 kids, a family, and just doing all that. What
Yeah.
would you say, like you mentioned the learning aspect. What do you do? Traction, I'm familiar with that.
Hmm.
What book would you say has, like in the last year, been impactful for you that you could share with our viewers?
Oh man. My husband is more the reader, to be honest. Really, just that one comes to mind. I mean, I have a couple behind me, but I'd have to think about that one. There's so many good books out there, really. Podcasts are now like really trendy, and so I'm more of like an audio type of person where
Are you?
I will
Yeah.
like listen to a book when I'm driving, or a podcast nowadays.
Yeah, that's me too. I mean, I grew up, well, I was dyslexic, so I was always in the slow learners or the remedial learners,
Mhm.
remedial reading. So I always gravitated to the audio leading part. So Audible has like been, I had an Audible for years and years. And so a friend of mine said this, he will order the book and the Audible book and do both of them at the same time to stimulate auditory and written learning. And I was going like, man, that's what I've been doing, because I'll always order both and
Yeah,
just kind of digest them together. And now I find that I'm learning at a faster pace, because I think I'm learning with two things, two senses, and it just has really benefited. You mentioned podcasting. Are you like, do you have any favorite podcasts besides Podcast Pete?
yeah.
And of course, I'm joking. Yeah, go ahead. Is there
No,
anything that you like out there that's been beneficial for your professional?
I
Uh,
mean, I like some of the women speakers, like Rachel Hollis,
mhm.
Tiffany Peterson. I used to do doTERRA back in the day with essential oils, so that's kind of how I came across them. So
Mhm.
there's a couple, yeah.
Yeah. What would you say, like, for people starting out in business, that first like year or two, what was your focus that you could share with them that's helped you, because the first couple years of any business
Mhm.
are critical as you're developing momentum, traction, connection. What was helpful for you when you were, that you could share with our viewers?
Um, Gosh, the beginning, it's okay to not know what you're doing. Like, you can try different things, and maybe you have to like reshape things, and figure out, kind of move quickly, and knowing like maybe this is not working out. I think our agency has evolved. We've had several different websites and things that we've tried. But I feel like once we went more niche based, I think they say the riches are in the niches.
Yes.
It's like, when you have a clarity and setting of goals, like marketing goals and things that you want to accomplish, I feel like that has been really helpful.
No, I totally agree. What what would you say? How long ago did you dig into the trades? Because I agree with you that you go rich in your niches.
Mhm.
Did you see an underserved industry, or what drew you to that?
Yeah,
To
So my father-in-law owns a HVAC company out in the Lithonia area. At the time, we lived with them in Norcross. And he would be home a lot, like even in the summertime. You would think with HVAC you'd be busy, but this was like 7 or 8 years ago. And so we were able to come in and create like a lead generation website and a call tracking number and different things that I share in my book. That's not really what the whole book is about, but I do share little like tips and tricks on like SEO and how to be found online. So were able to see the success that we were able to bring him. They went from, that house, selling it and buying a property out in Atlanta that they Airbnb and rent out now and have a farm. And so I feel like we attribute that success to us, because we were able, like, even to this day, all his calls are tracked. He's still getting lots of leads coming in from that website. So, I feel like we saw like, wow, this really works. And there's a lot of home service contractors that are maybe, marketing is overwhelming, and so they don't even know where to begin. And so I'm really passionate about and showing people how to do it. Like, if you want to do it yourself, sure. Like, I'm pretty straightforward in my book, but if you want to hire us, we're available too. So yeah, I feel like HVAC, and roofing, plumbing, things that, if your HVAC is not working in your house, you want to call someone and have someone come out right away. So
Mhm. How I love tracking because I think you can't improve what you don't measure.
yes.
So, at what point did you discover that that was going to be an important strategy with your agency? Was that when you were working with your father-in-law's business? Did you just kind of like say, "We got to track things," or what did that look like?
Oh, I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head. Like, if you don't know how many calls are coming in from a website and you don't have a call tracking number, then it's also hard as digital marketers to show you that this is actually working. It's like people will get mad, like we didn't get the results that we were looking for, XYZ, but you opt out of having a call tracking number. So, I mean, people don't know that in your Google My Business, you can put a secondary number on there. And so you can use, multiple, both of the phone numbers to, I think that's what's scary about for people. It's like, no, this is my number. So there's so much more than just, tracking the calls, but having a CRM attached to it and all the
Mhm.
benefits of being able to send out reviews to people, and definitely encourage contractors and people in general to have a CRM to make their life simpler. I'm like going back to the beginning. It's like having that system and a place to have that clarity of and vision board kind of thing.
Yeah, systems are everything, and if you don't embrace them, you're going to be wasting so much time out there because we all have 24 hours.
Yeah.
And the high achievers manage their 24 hours different than a person that doesn't. And I think everything we do has to be creating systems that'll support the growth of your business. What would you say? Like, I just read recently, Google's getting rid of their websites on the Google My Business. And so obviously it wasn't a priority for them. What do you think if you're a business owner and you have relied on Google My Business websites? What are you doing right now? Are you like scrambling, trying to keep that presence? But what advice would you give to people?
I mean, Google kept sending those emails out. I feel like, prior to doing it, it's not like from one day to the next they did it. So hopefully you could prepare for that to happen if you had a Google site, and that, no longer is showing that website option on your GMB. Hopefully you reach out to someone that can help you create one, even if it's a brochure, one pager type of website. Because I know budgets, people think maybe it's going to cost me too much money, and they think, that it's not doable. But definitely find someone that can help you just keep that brand and that authority, because people are searching. Like, I say it all the time in my 30 seconds, like 87% of people are searching on Google for your service, for home service specifically. So you want to be found and you want to show up in those search results. So definitely not neglecting your Google My Business. There's so much that you can do optimizing it to help in those organic searches.
Yeah, I have 540 Google reviews, so I've never seen anybody that's even close to it. But I geek out on that stuff, and I
Yes.
was in that industry, so I understand. It's a little bit more higher priority for me. Where do you see like Google My Business going? And what do you see in evolving in the marketplace that you might be able to share with our viewers?
I mean, it's always changing, the digital marketing landscape. I feel like before you could have a PO box for your address, and now you can't. So they are getting more strict and want to make sure that you're qualified. Like I'll set up LSA, local service ads for people, because it is available for home service contractors, and it's only available for certain industries, and that's a more of a pay per lead instead of PPC, where it's more costly. So I mean, it is, the Google Ads route is more expensive. If you have budget for it, then yeah. But I don't know. I mean, they change things up all the time.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
No, when I met you at the BNI in Smyrna, Ernest was, shouting out because I kept always years ago like, Ernest, we got to get reviews. We got to get reviews, and so and he did a great job of really making it a priority because we all look at reviews before we make decisions, and it's leveraging that, and I have like always believed in that. What do you say? Like, do you see reviews changing at all? I mean, I now put emojis on everything just to make it pop. I don't know if it makes any difference outside of a visual. Do you see anything in the review world that you could maybe share with our viewers that
I
could be
mean,
helpful?
if you can have the customer leave a picture attached to the text, that's always really helpful. I feel like that is, if you can add one or two or a before and after of what was done in your house. I feel like also a part. I was talking to a lady yesterday, and that she's like, well, I don't want to bother them, but I'm like, don't see it like that. You're adding value to your business and you did a great job. So why wouldn't they want to talk highly of you and
Yes.
do that for you? So I'm like, even if you have to have an incentive, a $5 gift card or something, like have them do it on the spot, because like you said, we're all living busy lives, and we're gonna probably forget. We don't also want to be on them to leave us the review, but if you can do it, face to face, that's always really helpful.
Yeah, out of sight, out of mind is so true in that world. If you don't, I think you have like 48 hours that if you're not asking at that time, the chances of getting a review 3 weeks or a month later go way down.
Or even if, like, because some people maybe will leave like a one liner, or maybe just leave 5 stars. But what if you had like 10 different scripts that you're rotating, that you could even help out people that are not so, savvy in those in the nice words and keywords that, so you want to have that. If you're an HVAC person, you want to have like, oh, they repaired my heating furnace, and those, repair and whatever that they did, the more of the terms that are on their website, the more helpful, I guess, for the review.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. What you mentioned CRMs, and I've always believed in it because it's the way you can manage relationships. Do you recommend any specific ones, or how do you handle when somebody says, I need to develop my relationships better? Are you through your book, or what do you do when that question comes up?
Yeah, it depends on their industry. There's certain ones that I would recommend for certain things, like roofers. I've heard really good things about Jobber. And I want to say maybe even Tree People use that, or there's something similar. So there, even if you can find one that's specifically for your your company and what you do, it's probably better. Like a pressure washing company, there's one out there for them. So I would look into that first before offering, like, yes, we could help you, for a low cost on a monthly basis, putting you in our CRM, but um, it's whatever it's going to suit their business better.
Right. So what is the focus of your book, and how long ago did you publish it?
Oh my goodness, it just came out last year, so it's not even a year old. It's
Mhm.
my little baby. Usually, oh yeah,
Yeah, let's do some self-promoting
I
here. So
do,
you
I
get
do
that book out.
I have some here. This is it right there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Like, who's on the cover there? I love it. That is good. So is it available on Amazon?
It is, and I discounted it. It used to be $19.99, and now it's only $9.99. I'll probably leave it like that for the springtime.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely go check it out. It is available on Amazon. Boost your sales, and then type in my name. It should come up. But it really is what the cover says. It's a step-by-step guide to digital marketing, and it says for home service contractors, but I mean anybody can benefit for it. I mean, I've done websites for massage therapists and people outside of the contractor space
Mhm.
too. So if you do the things that I recommend, you should be able to see the benefits. So, I do talk about local service ads that I mentioned, and SEO, and um, a really small chapter on social media, but doing things like this, to help promote your business.
No, the value that a person gains by buying a person's book. You're buying the person's experience. And for $10, you get a lot of value out of you. I mean, because this has been your world. So somebody spends $10, they get the knowledge of you and your world for nothing. And so I'm a firm believer in that. I think it's so important to show the value to people, because as we get down the road, it gets more and more complicated. And I think I was kidding when I said it, but I'm not so far kidding that I probably had a stroke because I was in digital marketing. I'm not saying it. I'm not. I know some people are more suited for it, and I probably wasn't. So I'm kind of glad I'm on the other side, but I love it. I mean, I love the ever-changing world because everything is online. I mean,
Yeah.
everything is just, it's a whole new world. And
Mhm.
maybe if I was younger and your age, I would probably embrace it more, but I'm on the Jim Raps side of age, so I'm a little bit older. But tell our viewers, I would love for you to kind of share what does relationships mean to you, because I'm familiar with BNI, and it's all about relationships.
Yeah.
Share with our viewers what that's meant, you know, to you and to business, of being able to really understand that key term.
Yeah, I mean, I think relationships are like rocket ships. They're gonna take you off, and you might meet someone that you didn't expect to have this great connection, and that opens doors for you. Like I wouldn't have met you maybe without Jim Raps. You mentioned him. So it's just always being friendly and always being kind. And I go to like a lot of networking events, so just putting your face out there. It is scary. Like some people are intimidated, but everybody usually there, it maybe will be feeling the same way that you are. Everybody's
Mhm.
nervous their first time if you've never been. So definitely encourage you to just go out there, because there's people that are feeling the same. And then the more times that you do it, the more comfortable you'll get in those networking events. So
Yeah.
constantly building relationships. Yeah.
Oh, I think that. Oh, I love that. That I like how you said it too. So tell our viewers, because I want to be respectful of those little
Mhm.
ones needing some of mom's help.
It's okay.
Uh, so how can they get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can follow me on Facebook, Karen Herrera, or Launch Growth Marketing on Instagram. Launch Growth, the handle is just Launch Growth Marketing, and I'm on all the socials, LinkedIn, um, I feel like I'm missing something. There's so many out there, but yeah, my name and then my company name is usually, if not Karen, and Instagram is like 2_Herrera. Mhm.
Well, we'll do this because we didn't put it like I'll put this up just so people can, and because I had one before, let me here it is. So if you want to be a guest on the podcast, this is only to B&I people. No, I'm just joking. It could be somebody else. But my point is we'll put it in the show notes. So if you're driving, the last thing I want you to do is multitask when you're driving, because focus on your driving and make sure you're not doing other things, writing down stuff. So
Yeah.
we'll put Karen's information in the show notes. So Karen, what would you like our viewers to take home from our time on this podcast? What would be the one thing?
Oh, wow. I mean, hopefully you've taken some good nuggets from this. Definitely, I feel like mostly like as speaking as a mom is like reach out for help, because I feel like there is some women that, it's challenging to take care of so many kids and do all the things. But I feel like if we need support, there is support out there. So I think that's really it. Not so much digital marketing, but it's just
Yeah, no, it's the reality of building a business. I mean, it's very hectic out there. I want to ask one more question.
yeah,
I just thought
oh,
of it.
it's fine.
So tell me, because it's obviously in the news, AI. What would you share with people? Do you, in your just in your eyes,
Mhm.
how would you share with our viewers what that means to a business today?
Oh my gosh, we have, we think like Google already gives you like a bunch of answers, right? Well, this is just a step up from that. So whatever you do, like, maybe you as a podcaster, you could go in there and say, give me 10 questions to ask this specific person, and it would just spit it out for you. So don't be intimidated by that and take full advantage of that, even for creating social media posts. Like you don't know what to say. Well, you can just talk to it. And if you don't like what it spits out at you, just say, make it sound more human, make it sound more friendly. It will reword it and make it. So just play around with it, but don't be intimidated by AI and use it to your full advantage.
I like that. I mean, my partner says, it's just a tool, but any tool, you have to get familiar with it. And,
Yeah.
it's not going to eliminate everything. We still need humans. I had a friend that said HI, human intelligence. So,
Yeah.
you never can replace this because, AI goes everything backwards for the most part. So, your creativity can go forward, obviously. So don't like use it more than a tool for your business. No, I love that how you said that, Karen. Thank you so much. We'll put your link to your book too. Now it may not be right in this live, but it'll be available when we put it on the podcast, and we'll put that on there for our viewers to.
Yeah, and if you follow me on socials, it's all my links and stuff for
Oh,
purchase too. It makes it easy for them. Thank you for having me on.
it's a pleasure to talk to a digital marketing, but it's like, I believe we talk the same language, or at least we understand the same language, because digital marketing is a language of its own.
Yes, I appreciate you, Pete. Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you, Karen.
Bye.